Well, the game of football has taught me so many things, man. Now, think about the huddle we have right now, right? I tell people this all the time. There's a reason why they call it a huddle. People have been huddling all their lives, trying to find ways to enhance each other's lives. The great teams do that all the time. The great teams do that. The better the huddle, the better the team. And so it's simple, man, how if you huddle for all the right reasons, we wouldn't have Ferguson. We wouldn't have some of the challenges that we have in our society. But as we all know, there's always a moment when somebody doesn't belong in the huddle. And yet we have to continue to move on. We got to continue to play. So the game of life, man, is always starting with the huddle. And for me, I'm lucky enough to know that, by the graces of God, man, it's been a nice huddle. It's been a nice huddle. And if I just keep making sure that he's in front of me, I'm gonna be all right.
Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our preview of the 2016 famous Idaho Potato Bowl between the Idaho Vandals and the Colorado State Rams. And we're going to start this video off by taking a look at some keys to victory. Let's start with the Idaho Vandals in this ball game. I think one of the best matchups in this bowl game is between their outstanding cornerback, Ja'Shawn Jordan, up against the leading receiver for Colorado State and Michael Gallup. That's a battle that Jordan will have to win more often than not. You want to force Nick Stevens to go to other targets consistently, and if Jordan can lock down Gallup, it goes a long way in helping the Vandals play excellent defense. Offensively, they can't have any wasted offensive possessions versus this Colorado State Rams football team. Their offense can do a great job of putting points up on the board, so when you do have the football, you have to be able to come away with 3, if not 7, and also you want to be able to flip the field position if you can, so they can't waste any offensive possessions, and I think they also have to win the battle in the trenches defensively. Colorado State does a great job owning the line of scrimmage. That's another big battle that they'll have to win. I like the matchup between the Rams offensive line versus this Vandals defensive front, and that's a battle. Again, the Vandals have to win in order to win this bowl game. Moving over to Colorado State in this bowl game, I think being gap sound versus the run could help them have a better day defensively. I think that's been one of the issues for the Rams all season long. They've been in position, but they haven't been gap sound. They've been overrunning gaps. Guys have been able to gash them for big gains on the ground. If they're able to be gap sound versus the run, it'll make this Vandal offense one-dimensional. And their passing game, I believe, has to have a little bit more versatility. They have one major target in Michael Gallup. If they can get other guys involved early, it'll open things up for Gallup on the opposite side. So I think being a little bit more versatile in their passing game could help them out in the long run. I think defensively, they also have to create turnovers. That's the one element that we haven't seen this year from this Rams football team on a consistent basis. They've had games where they've done a great job and they've won those ball games, but I think in this matchup versus Idaho, stealing possessions away with turnovers could help them win the ball game. One of the biggest X factors in this ball game for Idaho will be the play of their outstanding All-American punter, Austin Rickow. This is a guy that does a great job in flipping field position, pinning opponents back deep, and also gets great hang time on his punts. He's one of 2 outstanding punters in this ball game. So I think if the Vandals can win the battle of field position, and that falls directly on the shoulders of Rickow and what he can do punting the football, it bodes well for their chances moving forward. And I believe the biggest X factor for Colorado State will be quarterback Nick Stevens and how well he can work the football to other options in the passing game. I like how he's played so far this season, and it bodes well for the Rams' future at the quarterback position. But in this bowl game versus Idaho, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to take away Gallup away from their offense, and they're going to force Stevens to go to other targets, and I think that's where he has a chance to shine and ultimately help his team win. Now, here is a few of the pro prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. And we've already talked about Austin Rickow and what he means to that Idaho Vandals football team. And we mentioned how there's one of 2 great punters in this ball game. Hayden Hunt is the other one, 6 feet 220 for Colorado State. I like their linebacker Kevin Davis as well, a guy at 6'2", 240 that does a great job versus the run and also pressuring the quarterback and keeping out on the two frontline players, Trent Cowan and Fred Zerblis of Idaho and Colorado State respectively. I like the Vandals in this ball game. Quite honestly, I've been very impressed with how well they've gotten defensively over the course of the season. I think that's one underrated element about their game. They've done a great job all season long playing with offensive balance, and their defense has been the direct beneficiary of that, being rested, getting back on the field, and being able to get off the field defensively. So in this bowl game, I think it will be a tight one because Colorado State's offense poses a lot of problems, but I do think Idaho has the defense to be able to withstand the downward pressure that they're going to see from the Rams.